So, pretty simple, short one here. We had a pump seal fail on a BLM Type 6 engine. Pump configuration is kind of the important piece here, and what you do with those pumps in the future. So you have two pump configurations on these BLM trucks. You also have the same two pump configurations on the Forest Service trucks. Basically the same thing. There's a little bit of differences here and there, but as far as the pump package goes, you're looking at the same two pieces of equipment, even if they come from different manufacturers. So let's look at this truck. That guy there is a Darley AGE Focus. Can't tell if it's focusing through my sunglasses. Darley AGE 1.5. Okay. And the one that's primarily in question is going to be this guy. Okay, what do we call that? What do you guys call that?
BB4.
BB4. I like it. BB4 is a good answer. So, a BB4 is this pump head mounted to a Briggs & Stratton like 18 to 20 horse motor, technically, sort of. Is it a Mark III? Well, yeah, it's the same pump head. And way back when there was a model number on this, but now there's more than one manufacturer. So, what's the most accurate way to describe it? I think the general consensus is accurate in the sense that we call it a BB4. It's a BB4, but it's on the diesel, the 3-cylinder diesel Kubota motor. Great, brilliant way to do it. I'm glad we went to this. It removes a bunch of the mechanical failure issues that the Darleys have with the drive shaft system. This drive shaft system doesn't take the same impacts. It'll slip. There just isn't going to break the input shafts that run your pump. That's what happens on the Darleys. The performance-wise, they're pretty close. These guys are going to give you a little bit more pressure, which is what we usually want. And when you get more pressure, you're going to end up a little less volume. But you can get up in that almost 400 PSI range and still be moving 3 to 5 gallons a minute. So you're still running one nozzle way the hell up on top of that hill. Whereas the Darleys probably aren't going to do that for you, at least not as well. And then when you get into the actual hose lay configuration that we would typically run off of a Type 6 engine, this guy's going to buy you just a smidge more than that guy in pressure, not in volume. Most of the time that's what we're looking for, not always. Either way, they're both a good pump and a good pump setup. These you can swap out. It's the same pump head as a Mark III, right? Or any other BB4. So it looks exactly the same, even though actually it's a little different, kind of. The problem is this pump went down a week ago or so. It was leaking water from, I'll show you where it was leaking water from in a minute. It was leaking water at the coupler, which meant that the seal went out. The seals, I guess, are made out of graphite, not ceramic like the Darleys. Those are ceramic, they're a little bit more durable, maybe. In general, these don't go out all the time, but it went out. We don't know why. Commonly, pump seals go out from operator error. That's the main cause. Talking to the operators, I actually don't know that was the problem. Something happened, and whatever, not a big deal. We pulled the pump head out, we got a new pump head. Well, in the process of doing that, we talked to the pump shop who knows these pumps. That's all they know. It's what they work on. These pumps and these pumps exclusively. And we learned a couple things. So when this thing started leaking, they were looking at it and they said, well, look, there's a hole here where the grease zerk goes. And so they put a grease zerk in there and then they properly greased it. Very important, never grease these. These all have a sealed bearing. If they come from the manufacturer with a grease zerk, put grease in them. But if they don't come from the manufacturer with a grease zerk, do not put grease in them. Same thing with a Mark III that comes from the pump shop, that comes from the cache system. If they don't have a grease zerk, don't put grease in them. That grease will degrade the graphite seal, and it'll eventually fail that seal. So keep grease out of them. So let's take a look at this guy real quick. Let's see if we can get him so we can see where it was at. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Okay, there's our pump. Here's the piece where you can pop that loose. You can take the pump off of the speed increaser. It was leaking from down here. There's a larger hole than this guy. This is just a drain hole because these things can be mounted in different configurations. And if they do get some water in there, because sometimes the seal itself takes a minute to seat, it'll get a little bit of water. That way the water can drain out. There are 4 of these holes. One of them is large. Can't find it, but it's in there somewhere. A large hole in there somewhere. And it looks like you can put a greaser in there, through it into a threaded piece that used to take a greaser. Do not put grease in that. That is the key function of this lesson.
Makes sense.
And really what it boils down to is don't grease sealed bearings. If it doesn't have a zert,
Yes.
don't put any grease in it. If it has a zert, grease it. You know, as
Yes.
described in the manual. Yeah, and call it a BB4 because, God, that's what everybody wants to do, right? And it's the closest performance to it. Maybe here in a couple of days, if we're not doing anything, we'll do a pump test on it and just build a performance curve because I don't have one for one of these yet.
So
I'd like that.
since we're calling it a BB4, can we just say that goes out again? Can we take one off of Mark III in the field and do
That
it?
is-
That's
That
the
pump-
luxury of those.
That's
That
why
pump
I
used
thought
to
we
live
went
on a
to
Mark
it.
III.
Okay.
And the old Pumphead went to the pump shop and they're going to rebuild it and it will now live on a Mark III.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to.
It's a nice
So,
thing
I
is
mean,
when you're on
simple,
a
pop
fire.
that.